Hello, I'm Jacob Funk. You've seen me in such fine quality chemistry educational videos as dehydration and stoichiometry. There is a connection. And what does exactly precipitate and stoichiometry do? Today, you're going to be looking at a lab, a stoichiometry lab, in which you are heating up some components to drive off some stuff, and we're going to have some stuff left behind. Now, I'm doing this video differently for the two labs. For one of the labs, we would be working with copper sulfate pentahydrate. It looks like bluish crystals, and we get to heat it up and drive the water away, and then we can measure it and figure out what's our water loss. In the other lab, which is what I'm going to emphasize here, but the method is still the same, we're going to work with baking soda today. Now, what kind of equipment do you need? Well, first thing would be, for you guys, a lab apron. Now, I'm good because I've got a lab coat, but there is also something else that needs to be done, that you need. And notice I'm only doing this in one take because I'm a one-man production crew. I gotta go get it, so I'm going to be right back. Ta-da! Safety goggles. Yep, because you know what? Maybe some stuff is going to spatter and go, oh, my eye! Okay, we don't want that. Okay? Safety is kind of an important thing in a chemistry lab. And ladies, you know that long hair? You need to put it in a ponytail. You do not want to look like this. Okay? You so don't. Okay? Trust me. All right. Now that we got the safety stuff out of the way, what's exactly happening? Well, we're going to take regular baking soda, the kind that you can get at the store, and we're going to heat it up. But we're interested in a particular reaction in the baking soda. And this is it right here. Okay, so here, if we look over here, this is our baking soda, 2NaHCO3, and we are going to heat it up, and it's going to break down into water, you know, the water. It's kind of hard to pick the thing. There we go. The water and carbon dioxide. Now those are going to be in a gas. So they're going to go poof and they're gone. Do we care about them? Nope. We're interested in one thing. Another product that we can actually measure. And here it is. Sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. That's what we're interested in. Okay, how do we start? What gear do we have? Well, you're going to need the ring stand, the ring, the wire gauze. You're going to need an evaporating dish. That's what it looks like, this thing. It's made of porcelain and all that. It's very fragile. You can easily break it. And then, of course, crucible tongs. Very important stuff. Okay, where do we start? Well, first thing is we're probably going to need to clean the crucible because that's a good habit to have. How do I clean the crucible? Well, you get a paper towel like this and just wipe the inside of the crucible. Okay? And that should be good. Okay, you should be good to go for that. And now we got to do the next thing, but I got to unhook the camera because we're going to have to do it this way. Okay, so I have to unhook the camera. Okay, here we go. We're going over to the weighing station. And I'm going to flip this, and boom, we are now at the weighing station. Notice the baking soda with the scoopula. And here's our balance. And here is our crucible, which hopefully it's nice and clean. Now, we're going to put that in. And okay, so we can write down the weight of the baking soda, the empty crucible, okay? But now let's see, how much baking soda are we actually going to be putting in on this? Well, there's a secret. We can go ahead and re-zero this, and then we can go ahead and take the scoop and add that in there. Okay, till we have about 2 grams of this stuff. Okay, if it's 2.01, that's okay. Okay, that's a little too much. Now, what happens when you got too much? Crisis! Not. What do? Well, you need to take a little bit out. Okay, you can take a little bit out like this. Or maybe do it a little bit faster. Maybe put a little bit back in here. Tap, 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 tap. And put it in. You know, 2.03. Close enough. Okay, now, next thing. We are going to take that, and we're going to bring it over to here. Here we go. Here's our lab set up, as you can tell. We've got everything ready to go, and then we're going to put it on here. Okay? And then your instructor, that would be me, lights it on fire. And make sure there's nothing flammable, and you are going to make some observations as to what happens. Okay, how long are you going to be doing this? Well, you should be seeing some changes happening here. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that's half the fun of dealing with this lab. Now, there's a certain point where you're going to be done heating this up. You figured you've driven off everything you could, and now it's time. You're going to go ahead, you're going to turn off the burner, okay? Then you're going to take the tongs, okay? Now, you're going to pick it up like this, okay? Make sure that you don't spill, because if you spill, you ruin your lab experiment. So you're going to take it, and you're going to set it down here, and we're going to let it cool off for a few minutes. Because it's really hot. You don't want to touch it with your fingers, okay? Because if you touch it with your fingers, ow! Then we got to go through the process of running cold water under the fingers, and then your friends are going to think you really messed up. Okay? We'll still love you. Okay. Now, it's cooled off. Now we're ready for the next part. You're going to take the tongs. You're going to grab your thing. You're going to grab the crucible like this. And then you're going to take it back to the weighing station over here. And, oh look, it didn't really change weight. Well, it's not supposed to. I didn't heat it up. Okay, and then you should be able to figure out what is going on. Okay, and at that point, ladies and gentlemen, once you do that, you've got your weight. Okay, you can take this and you can dump it down the drain and turn on the faucet. Okay, I'm going to empty this out here. You can turn on the faucet, okay, and just let it go down the drain. There's nothing harmful for it, so we're good to go. Okay, and that is basically it for the lab. You just bring the crucible back to the station.